review to your answers to the polling questions. Let me share. Okay, I think you can see now. So let me refresh and see the answers. No, one sec. I used to see the number of results. Just one sec. Here it is. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. So let's imagine that we have a write-off and disposal process by sale of 10 equipment pieces. And the question was how many notifications are needed. Equipment like the laptop or any serialized equipment material ID. 20 of you answered 1 and 3 of you answered 10. Does anyone want to comment on this answer or give their opinion? Okay, the right answer is that for equipment, 1 notification is enough. Remember that in the field equipment number, we will put one of the equipment numbers, and then in the text box for the notification, we can add the reference of the other material numbers. And also we can attach the list of materials or stated in any document as an attachment in the notification itself. Let me see. Let me show you. Just any notification. So if we have more than 1 serialized equipment, we will put one of the numbers here, and then we will add the rest of the numbers either here in this text box or by clicking in this services for object button, which is the standard button used to attach documents in ECC module. This is the process. However, the process changes when. So this is clear that when we have a number of equipment material ID, we can use a single notification and include all of them for the tracking purposes of the activities in the notification. But one for all will suffice in order to do that. We understand that the 10 of them are somehow related. They are belonging to the same authorization group, and they are like treated together for the write-off processes. However, we have a second question that states that for the write-off and disposal by sale of 10 fixed assets materials, how many notifications are needed? And in this case, 19 of you answered 10 and 4 answered 1. And well, here the correct answer is as well 10, because the fixed assets are tracked individually, and inside of a notification for the fixed assets, there will be a need to first a task to recognize the fixed asset, and also it will be a link to the asset number. Let me show you. Okay, this equipment, we don't have any asset yet prepared. Let me see. No. Okay, that was on equipment. Yeah, this is the template. But yes, for your records, whenever you need to write off an asset or more than one asset, remember that you need to create a notification per asset, per unit, not like for the equipment. Then we have another question that is, in a notification, it's true or false, and it states the following. In notification, status cannot be skipped, meaning that they have to move from the previous status to the next in order. However, the order of the tasks can be skipped. And there were 16 persons that answered false and 7 that answered true. And okay, the right answer is true. And I'm going to, maybe the formulation of the question was not correct, but let's tackle this question. It says that the statuses cannot be skipped, meaning that the previous status needs to, one status needs to follow the previous ones. However, the order of the tasks in a notification can be skipped. So let's see what it means. I'm going to create a notification. It was this. I'm not going to make the same mistake as before. I'm going to set the right type. And this is a notification that we have. And remember, the notification has tasks and statuses. Okay, this is the first status, which is created. For example, if let me create it first, and then we try to change the statuses. So it's 1765. Let's edit the notification, and let's imagine that now I am the approver of the notification, and I want to, instead of approved, I want to set the status write-off request prepared. And I go back, and the system will not allow to, let's say, skip the step of approving the notification. Any status that I choose that is not the next one, I will get an error. So meaning I cannot skip the statuses, the order of the status. The next one needs to follow the previous one. Of course, there are others that is either or. For example, LPSB review, either you choose LPSB or headquarters, not both. But unless there are these statuses that are either or, then for the rest, you need to follow the sequence in order of the status. For example, now if I click the next one, which is approve, then I will be able to approve. Then the same. If I want to, instead, I don't know, of the next one, I want to choose await approval decision, the system will not allow me to do it. Okay, let me put in process the notification, and let's keep on trying. I haven't found any combination of status that, for example, I'm going to skip the status 3 and I'm going to move to the status 4. Doesn't allow. However, if I move to the next status, meaning that you cannot cut corners in the notification, even if you are granted with different roles, you will need to move the notification statuses from one to the next one. And if you encounter an error, maybe you want to, because you are, doing in a batch, or you want to skip statuses, that have happened offline and you have not recorded in the system, and you want to, for example, move directly to disposal in process, well, you will get an error. If you receive the error, for your knowledge, is because it needs to go through each of the sequential statuses. On the contrary, there are tasks, and these tasks are pre-populated, can be added by just simply typing here, and it will be added. You don't need to even click on enter. The task can also be removed by selecting and clicking in this button that says delete row, and then I want to delete it. But also the fact that I see a number in this case of 14 tasks doesn't mean that I need to go through each one of them and also in the same order. Ideally, yes, but I can start doing, well, let me select all of them and release them. I can, for example, start with this one if the order has not been listed correctly, and I will put it as completed, while the previous ones are still released, which is one step earlier, and the others the same. Then, for example, I will choose this one, and I can change the status, while later on I can remove this one, which is in the middle, and the first one, which is not needed. Okay, so you don't have to mandatory go through each one of the tasks in sequential order and to mark them as completed. This is more like a, as we said, an internal checklist in order to not to miss any step, but system-wise there are no errors if you don't follow the order. It's not the same with the notification. The system is forcing you to move sequentially from one status to the next. Okay, so this is what the question was about. Let's read it again. The status in the notification cannot be skipped. However, the order of the tasks can be skipped. So I think we just saw that the task can be completed randomly, not in sequential order.
Thanks for the explanation, Elena. I'm sure it's very helpful.
And then lastly, let me read the notifications for write-off and disposal by sale trigger a sales order. The sales order will act as a trigger for an outbound delivery and transfer order from the disposal area in the warehouse stacking area and for goods issue. Okay, so 5 said that it's false and 18 said that is true. Actually, this is the sequence. I wanted to mention what is the sequence for the sales order. And actually, this is true. And let me show you in other words. We said the notifications for write-off and disposal by sale will trigger a sales order. And this is the notification for write-off and disposal by sales, and we saw earlier that this is going to trigger a sales order number. You will do the exercise and you will not, when you click in this button called sales order, you will not receive a sales order number. This is only in the training environment. You are going to use the sales order number provided in the cover page here. But in real life, in production, this notification for write-off is going to trigger the creation of the sales order. And the sales order will act as a trigger for an outbound delivery and a transfer order. Okay, so we saw that the outbound delivery is created manually from the sales order number. And the outbound delivery is like a document that is going to support and monitor and serve as a place for attaching documents related to the sales order and the outbound of goods. So yes, this outbound delivery, it's a document that is created from the sales order number. If we move to the steps, you will remember that we saw two ways to find an outbound delivery extracted from the sales order number. And then the outbound delivery will trigger the creation of the transfer order for picking. Is the second and last transfer order, meaning that the materials are going to be physically moved outside the storage type. Brian, is there any comment on any of the questions? Anyways, this was just some review questions for interacting a little bit. I also took note on the chat, and there were a couple of, yes, there was some comments on the business partner. In this case, the customers, because when we are selling something, the counterpart will act as a customer. And I was thinking that if while you are doing the liquidation in UNAMID, if it happens, maybe you are selling the materials, and I wanted to show you a T-code in order to check, because it's, as I said before, in a business partner, there are two, let's say, set of attributes. One is the business partner type, and another is the business partner role that we are giving. In the exercise, in the body of the exercise, I listed as a reference this. I listed this user guide. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, this user guide is called Umoja Sales and Distribution, and here explains a little bit on what is the business partner type and the business partner roles. So, and actually is telling you how to check the business partner as a master data prior conducting a sales order. This is a graph I wanted to show you. So that you have business partners, then you have types of business partners. Okay, so you have business partners that are third parties, member states and non-member states, and government and local authorities and municipalities, NGOs and other agencies. Okay, these are one type of business partners. Then we have another type of business partners that are commercial business partners. They can be UNGM commercial vendors, which are mandatory for those vendors who want to engage into contracts that are larger than $100,000. Then you have other non-UNGM commercial vendors. So those vendors that want to bid for less than $100,000 can be registered as non-UNGM vendors, which is a shorter registration form. And then you have commercial customers. Okay. Then you have another type of business partners, which are the individuals. So us as staff members, and then military and police, and individual external. So, for example, an individual can be consultant. So we will have, this person with name and surnames will be an individual business partner, but then in order to be able to pay as a consultant, we will have to assign this person a role. Any type of business partner needs one or more than one roles. And the definition of the roles that they are going to be assigned to is going to make them appear in different modules in Umoja. For example, if this person, if this woman here in this picture is assigned a role of a vendor, she will appear in the SRM module in Umoja, so we will be able to place contracts for her, and she can be a supplier of either a consultant or a supplier as a, yeah. But if she wants to purchase the laptop that we are selling as a result of the write-off process, she also will have to have the role of customer. So she will be able to we will be able to see her appearing in the ECC module and in the sales and distribution module. That's why maybe if you are selling a piece of material and the person or the company that you are selling the material tells you that they have done business before with the UN and for sure they have the records in Umoja and so on, and still there are some issues that you cannot see her or him, the company, is probably due to the roles they have been assigned. Okay, the roles are specific to modules to Umoja, either to the sales and distribution module or to HR module or to SRM module, etc. A way to see what is the profile of the business partner, it's by clicking this code. And of course, you don't need to know the intricacies of this process because this is more master data. But maybe this is a first step if you are curious and in the moment you want to have a preliminary look on the business partner. Okay? The T code is BP, stands for business partner, and then this is you will insert the BP number. It's Global Freight Logistics Limited in this case. And then, let me see, you can see the information. And here it is, the type of business partner assigned to this company, in this case, is other types. But you, as you see here, you can have individual, local, military, UN police, etc. This is one set that you can check. The authorization group is to do commercial activities, non-commercial third party, no, etc. Okay, and here you will see display business partner role, and this is especially where I think it can have some issues or misleading problems, because in this case this company is set as UN customer, and that's why this company is able to populate as customer for our sale. If this company hadn't had this role, we wouldn't be able to sell. Maybe they have another roles, but not UN customer. So this is a preliminary, let's say, check that you can conduct. And if you have doubts, for your information, the business partners is master data, and therefore is maintained by the master data maintenance team. If you need to request new companies or individual persons to be included as master data, you need to submit an info path form, complete it, it's in IC. So you will need to complete the form, and I think it's a little bit more than 1 day, you will have this person or company available to use. Yes.
Maybe for Joe and Gianluca better, but is it possible for a vendor or buyer, whatever it is, to participate during the liquidation process into a sale? I mean, during the inspection of lots to be sold from the mission, even if not properly mapped as a business partner into Umoja, or it needs to be mapped first and then they can participate to the sale?
You mean bid for the sale?
Yeah. I mean, during the liquidation, we faced 2, 3, 4 times at least during the preparation of lots and buyers that came to inspect these lots to be sold. Okay, but those buyers, if they are not mapped into Umoja as a business partner, can they participate to this sale or they can't?
Okay.
It's more related to the, I think, procurement issue. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know how it works, because maybe a buyer can come and check the lot, decide to participate to the sale, but then he cannot finalize because he's not mapped as a business partner. And sometimes we are talking about a place in which the company that buy the lots are, I mean, very poor in terms of technology or this kind of environment.
Okay. I don't know if someone else wants
Nico,
to.
yeah.
I'm
Nico.
hearing. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Helena. Nico, if I understand well your question, I think we Gianluca Marazzo, through Graziella, the procurement expert, clarified this in the morning session, that though they can participate and bid, however, only just to minimize the work and the creation of BPs, only the winner of the bids will be recorded, will be created in the system. Otherwise, you can imagine there will be hundreds or thousands, depends on the size of a sale.
So already mapped, you mean, correct?
Okay,
so they must be already mapped.
Yeah, either they are already mapped because they have other business in the past, or at the moment of a sale, of a commercial sale, until they visit the lots, the bid, and they send their quotation. Until that stage, from what I understood, Graziella's answer is that you don't need to create them in the system, and wait until you finalize the bid and you have the winners. At that stage, you create them, because then you have to interact the relationship with payments. At that stage, you create them as BPs, you know. So, but you limit only to the winner of the sales. I don't know if I answered to your question.
Yeah, I understand the
Yes,
sale.
Gianluca.
Gianluca, the sale in this case is not done in SRM, is done in the sales and distribution module. So it is done currently offline, the advertisement and blah, blah, blah. It's only when you have the company or the individual that is going to purchase actually the material, where you need to have the business partner in the sales order. It's not the same in the procurement side, where we want to, where we are looking for vendors. In the current solution for bidding processes, we insert the business partner of all the companies that are bidding in order to be our vendors, and in the RFX process. And then we mark them as successful or not successful, and we will, from there, we will generate contracts from the successful BP. So when we are selling, it is, to the best of my knowledge, outside the system, and we are only requiring the business partner number of the successful customer. And when we want to buy, we insert, for tracking purposes, all the offers made by all the possible bidders, and then we mark who is the successful, and who, from there we will create a contract or a purchase order. If anyone has other comments.
Not right now, Elena. It doesn't seem so. Nicola again wrote a comment in the chat. Thanks, Gianluca, for stepping in. And Nico, it is similar to what we were discussing this morning, no, with a little more addition of information to it. But besides that, nothing else, Elena, in that matter. In terms of business partners, I think the discussion is finished, unless there's something else.
Sorry.
I heard a voice back there.
I don't know. It's Gianluca Junior. I don't know if you
Hey.
can see my question of this morning regarding this depreciate value, net book value, where we can find them in the system without running the report in BI.
Yes, just give me a sec and I will, let me find the T code. Just give me a sec. Or
It was AS03, wasn't it?
AS03. I'm speaking by heart, but let me share my screen. It's okay. Can you see now? Yes. AS03 asset. Let's see what comes in. Okay. Let me see if I find it. Asset values. And here we should see, okay, this is empty. This is the book of depreciation. And here we should be able to see the, let's say, like the depreciation schedule from the month that you are purchasing, posting the material. Okay, how it has been depreciated monthly. This is probably not a good example. If you allow me for a second, I'm going to look for a asset ID.
But this T code relates only for asset, correct? And there is another one for to understand the depreciate value of the serialized equipment.
No, what to the best of my knowledge, it is only assets being depreciated, but I'm not an expert on asset management.
Elena?
Yes.
Yes, if I may jump in. Yes, with this T code, you can see the asset record, and in this asset values button where Elena was clicking, let me find if I can have a number of an asset that is already depreciated for you to see values, because now as it is empty, maybe you are not
seeing it. Yes, I'm looking for.
We have an asset, I think.
For the same. You want to tell me, Sol?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
But Sol, correct me if I'm wrong. It's only fixed assets, right, being depreciated. The equipment, there is no similar.
Yeah, only fixed asset. That's why the fixed asset have, as our colleagues Brian, Daniel, and Elena have been explaining during this training. Equipment record is the equipment that contains all the information related to the piece of equipment. But in the case of fixed assets, we have an asset master record linked to this equipment record, and that's why, because for fixed assets, they have a different accounting. That's why they need a special shell where all the financial transactions related to the assets are tracked, and because they are being depreciated. And only fixed assets have this, let's say, asset master record where all the depreciation and all the financial impacts of these assets are being tracked. So yes, it is only for fixed assets.
Thanks, Sol, for that. I was going to recuperate what Sol had, what Elena was asking there. Lucia, that's you?
Yes,
sure thing.
Ciao,
Jump in.
Ciao. Sorry if I'm jumping in. Okay, this is correct, the asset and so on. Just to reply to Gianluca's question, there is an Excel file for the equipment that are not fixed asset, Gianluca. So you can put the product category, the equipment number, and you will the Excel file will give you the depreciated value and the remaining amount. Maybe outside of this, I will show you or I will send to you. Okay, so but there is a way even for the not fixed asset, even if it's not in Umoja. There is no T code to retrieve this data, unfortunately. So you have to do manually in this Excel file.
Okay, thanks, Lucia.
Prego.
Yeah, Luca, if we don't see it now, we will see it on Monday. We will select some asset IDs where we can see the original value and the depreciated. Because
no, it's clear, Elena. I've seen where you can find it. I will try to do some search out of this training environment. It's fine, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Gianluca, and thanks, Lucia, for that intervention. Also, thanks, Sol, for the explanation. I'm not sure, Elena, if you're not getting any results because it's only looking for 2017 based on the asset that you're adding there. Maybe a change of fiscal year could make the difference.
Okay, let me try. Michelle, the screen first.
And if it's not the case, we can just move on. Just basically, if that could be the reason why the message you're getting is based on that.
It's in this T code, and it's by clicking here where we should be able to see the depreciation. And here a simulation in the case of writing off fixed assets. This is basically what we're going to see on Monday. Like a charter where it states the purchase value, the depreciation, and the loss. But unfortunately, I'm not prepared with
Elena, I have the fixed asset number, but it's in 520. If you want to show it now or on Monday, whatever you prefer.
Let's do it now and then 520.
Yeah.
T1E.
And before you log in, also, Elena, please just try to get the sound off as well.
Yes.
Okay, and the TV screen. Options at the top. And then where you have interaction, design, sound settings. There you go. You have to apply it. Okay, good. Perfect. All right.
Also, this is a user ID for 520. Hope. No? Okay. Okay, AS03 and then an asset.
The number is 31 4 zeros 1997.
Let's see. Okay, this is capitalized on 2016, so we should be able to see some depreciation, right? We will click on asset, and here it is. So, Sol, if you want to from the interpretation of the net book value, this is what is remaining from the original purchase.
You see in the second line, you have the acquisition value. It is the value from which this asset was, let's say, acquired. And then you have under this ordinary depreciation line. And the net book value is the difference between these two values. And if you see fiscal year 2020, you can go back to 2019. You see, every single year, the system is calculating the depreciation because the assets fiscal year goes from January to December. It's a little bit different in terms of accounting, purposes. So every single year, if you change to 2018, you see, every single year, the system is calculating the depreciation, and you see the net book value is decreasing every year because every year the depreciation is increasing.
So the ratio is $6,000 per year.
Yeah, and you see if you change now to 2019, the net book value is decreasing, and 2020 now, this year is even less because the depreciation is accumulated every single year.
So I will understand that December 2020, this will be 0, the net book value.
December
6,650.
Yes, at the at the year end, at 2020 year end will be 6,658.
Ah, so it will be one more year, 2021.
Yeah. So in this let's say in the asset master record, in these asset values, you can find how the asset is being depreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Just by clicking in this asset values button.
Yeah, okay, it's gone. Okay, thank you so much, Sol.
You're welcome.
At this point, is there any comment in the chat, Brian? Oh.
No, we're basically, Daniel has added also an asset. Well, you were already logged into 520 and showing this one. He managed to, I guess, find one and add one to the chat if they wanted to use it in 510 as well, so they could take a look at it if anyone was logged in with 510, and a couple of screenshots. Besides that, I think that with what you covered and the intervention with Sol, we are more than okay with this this request from Gianluca Jr. Maybe we can move on to either another question. It's 2:45. Maybe we can go through a couple of more questions, comments that we want to make, and then we can take a break and then maybe use the last half of the afternoon for the exercise. I have the email ready, so as soon as we're good to go, I'll shoot it out. Anything else you wanted to comment, Elena, maybe yourself, or any other questions from anyone listening?
From my side, no, unless we receive a request, a comment from any one of you.
Okay, I see Sol. I don't know if Sol, you want to intervene. If not, I just see you unmuted, so I wasn't sure you wanted to comment on something. Okay, if not, Elena, what I would do to close this first half, if you could just share the screen, the cover page of the exercise you were covering today. I just want to go quickly over the summary of transactions and roles involved, right? Because this is one of those transactions that has quite a number of roles. And maybe as we, what I like to do, at least from day one, for those of you who are being sent and are going to be performing these transactions, I see notification users, approvers, SD11s, disposal planners.
For example, by the disposal planner, the management of the notification, one has been approved. It's a very lengthy process, but I don't think there were new. Well, it depends on the knowledge of each one, but it's a combination of some of the process that we have seen in the previous days.
Exactly, right. What I'm interested in is in knowing if there's actually, if a user could get all of these roles and perform this entire transaction during liquidation, or will they have dependencies with some other roles? For example, will everyone be able to get the SD11 role while they're deployed? Will they be limited by maybe the disposal planners transaction, or are they going to have all these transactions and be able to perform this whole process on their own, which will actually make life a lot easier? I just wanted to take a quick look at the roles involved there so everyone would have an idea of what is expected from them. Based on what I see here, there's no FA15s, FA16s, as we discussed during other days, that those would fall under other people's responsibilities. The only element I see here that could be maybe not dependent on someone deployed is the SD11 role. Not sure if you'll be given that role when you're there, and then maybe the disposal planner.
Maybe the user is not compatible with the warehouse, but this is just a guess.
Brian.
Yeah, I know some will not be compatible, but maybe even allowing them to have it for disposal will be it's just that, just to understand what they would be responsible for and what they wouldn't.
Hi, Brian.
It's something that, yes, Daniel?
Just to let the students know that I just left in the chat the GDP roles with all the coding, and actually the roles that cannot be put together to the same person. So you have all the segregations and all the explanations on the roles. It's right there in the chat. Over to you.
And Gianluca.
Thank you, Daniel. Nico, yes.
For Gianluca especially. That's how the system works for a write-off process in which we are involved from the very beginning, okay? But what we have faced in, especially in Minijus, that we arrive over there and the process starts already, okay? And into the notification, for example, there was no any trace of the sales order, any trace of documentation. So that's what I think at the liquidation time that we have to avoid, because without all this kind of info, it was a mess. It was really a mess to find out what's going on for items that were basically already out of the base sales, but still, for example, with the status of write-off in process. So Gianluca, this is very important, because in order to don't face again in the future, maybe to control prior what the situation is in order to don't arrive over there and to find some action already done but not properly updated in terms of at least the notification is the only communication tools we have to control the write-off process.
It's true. What Nico is saying is that although you can create a sales order if you want to sell a piece of equipment, and you can create a sales order from scratch and not linked to anything, is advisable, according to Nico, and to all of us, to create the sales order from the notification. So all the documents are linked.
Exactly. What we it was sales order done out of the notification.
The more the documents are linked, the easier to track. Thank you, Nico.
Thanks, Helena. And let's see, basically two quick things. Thanks, Daniel, for sharing also your the PDF. I think it's very useful. If every one of you is looking at the chat, the PDF that Daniel sent will show the roles that can be combined or shared and which ones can't. And you'll see also how the restrictions for example, SD11 has, thanks Lucia for confirming, right, SD11, SD9 cannot be worded together. And then Stefano Bramato, your question, very good. We have explained this towards the beginning too, but besides the chat that you can actually access at any time, this will remain open in the channel. You can access the files that have been shared through the chat as well, through the channel of the training. And any of the questions that we have answered orally that maybe have not been captured by the chat, we're also creating a separate document, a Q&A document separately that we'll share with you guys, with the discussions we've had that may not be reflected in the chat. And those that have been asked in the chat and reflected there, they're either also added in this Q&A document, or for example, if they're just screenshots or PDF files or things like that, you can find them directly by accessing the files on your Teams application, or accessing the channel and looking at the files that are there. So all the information we're sharing here is always going to be visible and available in Teams. But yes, the chat is not downloadable itself. Thanks, Daniel, for that comment. So take a look at that PDF that Daniel has been sharing. Just look for a role, for example, SD11, and you'll see in specific sections if this one can be shared with any other role. Just the same thing for SD06 and any other. Yes, definitely, Stefano. It's always worth remembering things like these, right? And if you want, we can even spend time showing you where it was found, okay, where you have to go in the files in the chat as well. Okay.
Is there anything in the chat that is pending?
Nothing more besides what I was just commenting now. That's it. No other comments on that. I think it was important to revisit that and have expectations of what's what's coming and what you're going to be responsible for. As we did discuss from the beginning, and I remember Angelo Claudio also mentioning, it's always important for you to understand not only what you're doing, but what's coming before and what's coming after, right? Because there's an impact always with every other action in Umoja. So even though you're not going to be assigned a specific role and perform the action itself during liquidation, you should be aware of what is coming and how your action will impact someone else's role in the system. Besides that, I know it's 2:52. We can probably go on our break. And I think unless there's anything else to comment and talk about, when we do come back, maybe it's a good time to jump on the exercise and perform it each one on their own. Okay, we'll leave the rest of the session open for any comments or any support that you may need, but maybe it's actually worth it to use the hour in the afternoon to perform the exercise. I know you're all busy at home, you all have your families at home, sometimes it's not easy, but I know you do have these hours reserved and saved for this, so let's see if we can do that. So let's take the break first, and when we come back, let's talk about doing the exercise.
Okay. See you in 5 minutes or 2?
Yeah, 5
2 to 3.
5 is good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say that.
Hello.
Elena.
Hope everybody is back. If Brian, if you agree, since this exercise it's a little bit long, what they can do is to do in this hour the exercise from the beginning to the end. The thing is that in case someone gets stuck in some page in the exercise due to whatever, I prefer to be here online to help them to continue with the exercise. Otherwise, they will write an email, and then in a few hours we will answer, and the whole process is delayed. I don't know what people think and you think about doing the exercise, and yeah, I can be here to just to help in either if there are some issues with the exercise itself or there are questions. And reach out to whoever can help if there are business questions or anything.
Yep, Elena, no, I agree. It's basically what you're saying. When you do the exercises on your own and you're stuck, it pretty much takes you an email, and then being lucky that we are there to be able to answer it on the spot. If not, you just stopped until we answer. So now is a good time to get started. I already sent the email now during the break, so you should all have the body of the exercise and the credentials already in your inbox. Just make sure you download them, look for your name in the credentials, and start practicing. We have an hour of time. I believe that in an hour we can definitely provide some support, and then after the hour you can just finalize the exercise on your own time. But it's a good start. Elena is here. I'm here myself. Sol can jump in if we need her too. Daniel is also here. Saida. So we have a number of trainers. It is true that the dedicated person for this specific exercise is Elena. So questions can be directed to her, and the rest of us can jump in to provide support too. So now is the time. Unless you guys have any comments or questions, I recommend opening the exercise, logging into the system, and we'll leave the rest of the hour open to provide support.
Okay, perfect. And if anyone wants to comment on anything, just it's a matter of dropping a line in the chat or speaking through the micro, and we will be there. Okay, so yes, enjoy and keep in touch.
Thanks, Aida, for the suggestion. I've shared the credentials and the exercise through the chat as well. So you guys can directly access it through here, through the chat of the actual session. And Daniel is about to share the survey for the afternoon session as well. Okay, that doesn't mean that we're done in closing. We're still going to be here until 4 o'clock, providing support for this exercise. All right, so just a 15-minute check. Everyone doing okay? Remember, reach out in the chat, speak up. If we even need to, you can share your screen, or we can share our own and then drive you through a process. At this point, you should have already logged in, created your notification with a reference. And not sure, maybe you're at step 3, maybe 4, depending on how quick you are right now. But I'll be checking in every 10, 15 minutes to see how you guys are doing.
Yes, remember also that the credentials assigned to you are all of them, I mean, you have all of them, your credentials in the same document. You need to scroll down until you find your and use the credentials assigned to you.
All right, just a comment. I know Elena was making this comment before as well. Remember, if you log in to the training environment and you have a pop-up window that tells you, do you want to continue by kicking out the person that is logged in on the session, join in without kicking them out, and then there's a third option, please select the one of not kicking them out. First of all, it means that you're using someone else's credentials. If by any chance you're not, you're using your own and it still says that, please select the option of continue without kicking the other person out. Like that, because I've received a message from one of the students saying that they had just created their notification, they were about to save, and then they were kicked out, and now they have to start over. Keep that in mind.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if everyone is experiencing the same, but I'm blocked. I mean, it looks like the Citrix is down. I'm trying to log in again. I hope I get from where I was. Is okay with everybody else, or somebody experienced some issues with the Citrix?
Is it crashing, Gianluca, or is it just like blocking you from logging in?
Was frozen, and I thought it was some issue with my connection, and then now it's like 2-3 minutes, and I'm relogging. I don't see any other way.
Hey,
The only
Gianluca.
thing that I've seen, sorry if I interrupt someone, I was putting the date, starting date and ending date of the notification, and then while I was trying to update the date of the task, it created some conflict, I believe, in that moment for my case, and then kicked me out.
Yeah, I was putting the dates of in the planning in the notification as well.
The dates in the planning. Shouldn't kick you out.
I was.
Let me check.
I was at the stage of. I put the responsible at 20000152, and then I put the planned start date tomorrow, and I didn't manage. It was still 7th July something, and it got stuck for now 3, 4, 5 minutes, and I see I cannot move around. So tell me, should I knock everything off and start again, or should I stay where I am?
I thought these things happens only if you are presenting a session, but I see that when you are doing the exercise, it happens. Let me see. Do you want to click on the button stop transaction and begin, or not at all? Because I understand that you are frozen, no? So you.
Yeah, I can start again. It's okay. Looks like I'm frozen now. Let me try to proceed. Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Gianluca. Yeah, one thing is being kicked out, if not saving. Yeah, I think the only other option is starting from scratch. I think the way you have been kicked out is basically someone must have logged in with either the credentials or a similar credential or something like that. Usually that's the only reason. But if now Citrix is not connecting, it may have been a system crash too from the Citrix application. Please take a look, everyone else in the chat. Thank you, Gianluca Jr., for sharing your screenshot. That's what the screenshot would look like. And the option you should select is the one that says continue without ending any other's transaction, okay? The third option is the one selected by default. You have to check the second one. And then you can continue and everyone else can continue with the session. Hi, Vito. I see your post in the chat about changing all the dates in one time. So I see the reference notification that you're using is probably maintaining those dates. Now, yeah, when we Elena was changing them one by one at one point, then eventually was helped. I don't remember exactly the name. One of the attendees jumped in and explained how to do the copy and paste quickly. Maybe Elena, you can help them with that. Even share your screen and show them. But I'm not sure if you do change the either the malfunction start date and then you do apply the new dates. The new date should show as 2020, and then all of them should change at once.
Yes, I did before, and then I change one by one. Okay, and then this is why I'm asking if there is a way to change in one time. But
okay, Vito, so you did change the original ones. It told you to maintain the change, and you said yes, but still the tasks were in 2017.
So I'm asking, I have to maintain the same date, or I have to change as for display of the view?
No, you would have to change the dates and the task lines. But what I was wondering is at the beginning, when you're creating your notification, it does tell you at the bottom when you change the malfunction start date and the notification date. If you put the date in the future and you accept the change of the dates, does it automatically change the task list dates? If not, just by changing one first line, copying and pasting all the others, you just have to change one. The rest can just be copied and pasted.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, but maybe let's share that, Elena, if you have it there on hand.
Yes.
Maybe we can do a quick sharing of the screen and show Vito how to do that.
The control Y, okay, I just learned. Okay, I knew, but I forgot, so it's good as a refresher. Sometimes when you first change the start day and then you want to change the finish day, you get an error saying that the start date is later than the finish date. Okay, so my trick is to first start editing the finish day and then I start editing the column of the first day. And let's say it's for 1st of May. So what I learned is that if I put, well, I'm using a Mac, so in my case it's a Command Y, and I somehow put the cursor on it. Right, hold on. And without removing the okay, let me see, control copy, and then let me see if I can paste. In multiple lines. Well, I need to practice on pasting in multiple lines because I copy one and I can only paste in one.
I think the first line is the one you copy, and then with the marking of the arrow is where you paste. You select all the other ones and paste.
Okay. Let me practice.
There, the way you were just doing it now.
And then copy. Let me see if I can. You see, I cannot select the entire column. So
no, it's the other way. You have to copy several lines, and then you can copy as many as you want.
Okay, I copy a single line, copy, and then guys, I cannot. Okay, don't use myself as an example because I cannot select more than one line. But I click Command and V as paste. And
Elena, when you have the cursor option, yes, please. I'm not sure. I don't see who's speaking, but
it's Josefa.
Hey, Josefa. Sure.
Okay, so the idea is every time, that's it. I mean, every time you want to copy something, you always have to do Control Y beforehand. And then you can copy multiple lines and then copy those same amount of lines onto the next empty spaces or whatever you want to, you know.
Okay.
So the idea is to kind of put 2 lines, yeah, and then now Control Y, copy those 2 lines, and then you start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I copy 2, I paste.
And now you can copy the 4 or the 5 or the. You know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yes, thanks, Josefa. So maybe, Elena, if you can just repeat that step.
Yes, the command copy and Y works in this way. If I click on copy and click plus Y, and I select one line, no, command, sorry. Okay, if I select, let's say 5 lines, or and then I copy, oh my God. Let me try. I need to practice a little bit. Let me change the date. This is month 6. Come on. Okay, so this is it. You click Command Y, and then you select, for example, 3 lines, copy, and then you will paste from 3 to 3 lines in a row. If you select 4, then you will be able to copy 4. If you select 1, you have to paste one by one the lines.
Thanks, Mino, for sharing that. I see 336 that just a minute ago. The system is kicking you out as well. I see, because that message is not because someone else kicked you out, but the system seemed to just shut down. I think that's maybe what Gianluca was also talking about before. Surprising, what's going on with the system itself.
It seems, yeah, it seems like I mean, it's kind of faulty, in a faulty status. I'm trying now to get in again. I'll let you know.
I managed to save the notification, so maybe after the connection is restored, you don't lose what you have been doing so far.
Okay, we'll try and let you know.
Thank you. Thanks, both of you. Okay, Luis, I'm taking a look at your comment also in the chat, and Elena, I think this one goes out to you. Luis is finding an issue when performing the step 11 on page 7. Basically, I saw this message pop up when you were doing the demo too. The function selected cannot be carried out.
Okay, let me find the page 7, step 11.
Yeah, it's the one that talks about once you fill in the appropriate fields, clicking on sales order button will automatically create the sales order from the notification.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I think that was something you were explaining too.
Yes.
You had that same issue.
If you just click the sales order, there's a glitch. The training environment is not going to return a sales order number. So please take the sales order number in your cover page.
Okay.
And pretend it was given to you by from the notification.
So I put it in additional data sales document, no?
Additional data, sales document. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I think it's there. Okay. I was going to do that, but I prefer to ask before.
Yes, definitely, Luis. Thank you. I remember seeing this same issue with Elena at a certain point, and it was exactly this one.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Elena. Unfortunately, it's not working for me. The sales document seems to be not available.
Sorry, I was muted.
No worry.
Let me see. Sales document item is not available. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to. At what stage did you stop?
Yes, that's it. So I created the tasks one by one. I marked the first one as completed. The next step is to do the sales step, okay? That is where I'm stuck right now. Clicking sales order was not working for me, so I added the sales order number that I had on the front page, but it's telling me that the sales document is not available, although I see it when I search by search document.
Okay, just give me a sec. 1 sec.
Luis?
Yes.
Just one question. This is all here. Just one question. Were you able to type the sales order number that you have in your cover page in the notification?
In the notification.
I really don't understand the exact. Could you?
No, in the notification, I didn't see where to. In the notification itself, yes.
You were able to type it?
I think, no, it was not requested about that. I will check.
Okay,
but it's telling me that's not available right now. I will delete it. I will check in the notification. In the notification itself, I have the equipment. I will do a separate call with you. Okay, Sol?
Oh, perfect, perfect. Let's do it. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Elena?
Sí.
If you want, I will go to a separate chat with Luis, because maybe it's related with this issue that we found with the sales order. So you can take care of the rest of the people, okay?
I don't think he can link the sales order.
That's my
notification.
Yeah, that's my question, because I tried myself and I was not able. So I don't know exactly what he did. So I'm going to have a look to his screen. But in the meantime, you can assist the rest of the people.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Elena.
Sol. If I'm not mistaken, Luis is getting stuck at step 12. So this may happen to maybe other students as well. We'll see if we learn how to solve that. When you guys are done with that conversation, we can jump back in here and explain it. But I believe it's exactly step 12.
Okay, just for information, at the stage of creating the notification, the sales order should not be created. We are just, remember that this is just initiating the request for write-off. So at this stage, we still don't know if it's going to be approved, and we still don't know if it's going to be allowed for sale. So maybe the note I put here was a little bit misleading because it's early in time. I'm reading the note that says once filled in just before the step 12. Clicking the sales order button will automatically create a sales order from notification. Okay, but remember that this comment is at the stage of creating the notification, and this notification still is not approved and is not marked as an active, etc. Put in process, sorry. So clicking the button in order to create a sales order will come later on as the, let's say, offline. It is approved that the item is for sale. It is by clicking this button, but not at this stage in time. And in the training environment, it will not create a sales order number on the top of everything, but it shouldn't be done at this stage.
Yeah. Elena, this is Pietro. And just to, to give you, a little bit of my support, as you well explained, in the training environment, the sale order doesn't work. So we have to use those one that is in the top of our, let's say, cover page of our dedicated exercise. We have to jump that part in creation of sales order, and we have to use the sale order number into the creation of the outbound straight over there using the VL 10H. I mean, I don't remember the
Yes.
code, VL10H. Right. And we have to skip that part.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Thanks,
Okay,
Pietro.
you're welcome.
Okay, so just to clarify that, Elena, what step exactly are they skipping? Because we have Cristiana is also writing in the chat saying that she was able to create a sales order, number 10,061, but on the main page of her exercise, hers indicates 10,012. So which one should she use? So based on what we're discussing now, they should be using the one they created and not the one on their cover page. Correct? You're muted, just so you know, unless if you're talking.
Sorry. I didn't realize. Okay, so let's go. I was stating that at this stage, we are creating the notification, and maybe this comment should come later on in time. Okay, I was showing the different tabs that we have for the notification, but at this point that we are creating the notification for an item to be proposed for write-off and sale, we still don't know if it's going to be approved and we are going to create a sales order. So this was just for informative purposes, that as we were going and reviewing each one of the tabs. But at this stage that we are creating the notification, we should not create the sales order because it's not even approved, the write-off. So this is only for informative purposes, that the sales tab is in order to create a sales order, but not to create the sales order at this stage. First, the notification needs to be approved and then put in process. And once that the sales is approved, but then, and as Pietro said, later on in the process. Okay.
So there.
We use the sales order in order to generate the outbound delivery and so on.
But are they creating a sales order from scratch, or are they using the one in the cover page?
No, they are using the one in the cover page.
Okay. Because I'm surprised that here, if you look at Cristiana's message, she says that she created one and now wondering if she's supposed to use the one in the cover page.
Okay,
but why would she even have to create?
Because in some tests, I was able to create the notification and you get a message saying notification saved and sales order, blah, 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 created. In some other instances, I was not able to create it. So you see, yeah. So yes, try to use this sales order. As said, it doesn't work always. So we provided an extra sales order number.
All right, perfect. That explains it all. So if these exceptional cases occur where the actual sales order generates through this process, then we use that one. If not, the way to go is to always use the one on the cover page.
Yes.
Okay. And Pietro is also talking to Cristiana here in the chat. It's not approved and is empty. This means that if you try to create the outbound, it will be empty as well. Okay, that makes sense.
Just go for the provided one, and it's a safe.
Do we have to eliminate the one created?
Not eliminate, but
just
you can use the sales order and from there to create the outbound delivery.
All right.
Hello, Brian, Elena?
Yes.
And everybody,
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah, the issue was related, very good that Luis found out, because it's good to remember this. When he was trying to create the sales order from the notification, the button didn't work. As we mentioned, there is a glitch in the training environment. So he was trying to reference this notification in a different point of the notification that should work, but I don't know why it's not working either. So my advice for all of you guys, take into consideration that in production, the notification will be generated automatically from this button in the notification, and the number will appear there. For the completion of this exercise and the ones that you will receive in the post-training package, forget about the sales order, because you will have a specific sales order number in your cover page, and that's the one with the one that you have to proceed with the exercise. So forget about this. In fact, they should be linked, and this should work like that, but it is not working. So don't try to link the sales order with a notification, because maybe in the text box you can type that my sales order is this one or whatever, but not officially as it should be done, because it is not working. Luis, do you want to add anything?
So maybe we can also, Elena, add that to the exercise in the body before I even send, I'll send the updated version of the exercise later on when the session is over, which is very shortly over, so that they can all see that when they're performing the exercise. It's good that we catch this before, so we can just update and resend. I don't think it should take too long, right, to update that portion, and I'll just resend the exercise.
Sorry, the portion, because we are not asking to link.
No, but okay. I am not sure if it is written that they should click on the sales order button. I don't know. I don't remember. Or maybe I can have a look at the. Let me check.
Guys, if I may, yes, it's written to
written?
click on the sales order. But anyway, even if does not generate automatically, it gives you back a notification. So the notification number is, is created anyhow.
Sorry, the notification or the sales order? The sales order number.
No, the sales order doesn't work as you were correctly saying. But still, if you click on the save button, it gives you back a notification number that you can save.
Perfect. So the notification is created and saved, but there is no sales order created and linked to this notification. And to continue with the exercise, you should refer to the sales order number in your cover page, and everything will work.
Okay, I am referring to page 18 on the beginning. Let's see if it's clear. Not on the training environment. In the training environment, the sales order that you are about to create will be empty. It's a glitch in the system. However, in production, the sales order will be duly populated with the material ID and other details. In order to proceed with the exercise in the training environment, skip the step 4, okay? And use the next, in the next chapter, create the outbound delivery document, the sales order provided in the cover page.
So it is written.
Yeah, and then you will use the sales order provided in the cover page. If you wish to display the sales order, type T code VA03. Yeah, because I wanted to put what is supposed to happen in reality, but at the same time, some notes so that the exercise can be continued.
Very good.
Elena, I can confirm you're right. You're perfectly right. The exercise can be, you can keep going on with the exercise anyhow. So thank you.
Shall I correct something, or I can leave it like this?
I don't know, Brian, what do you think? If it is written, I think there's no need to.
Yeah, no, if it's there and the process is correct and they're able to continue anyway, fine. I just saw that since this was coming up with at least 3 different people, maybe there was an amendment to make. But if it's clear and they can proceed with the instructions, then we'll just leave it the way it is.
Okay, let's see something. If there's another fourth person that has doubts, it means that it needs to be reformulated.
Maybe what Cristiana was mentioning, the fact that her transaction actually generated a brand new sales order number. If that is maybe not added or explained there either, maybe we can add that too. That's the only other thing, because that could confuse somebody that's doing this the first time, right? If there's suddenly a new sales order number and we're telling them to use a reference one. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. The session is coming to an end. Based on the feedback and receiving, everyone has at least reached to step 13, even probably. And so it's gone pretty quick. I'm very glad. I realized that the majority of the transactions we have covered during the week: create notification, approve it, update equipment, TOs. So you're all familiar with those T codes and those processes. Basically, what was new was starting on step 12, and actually that's when our issues started happening too. So that can also make sense. We'll review the exercise to see if there's something we can add or change to make things easier for you, and to the email in the afternoon. But besides that, again, it's important only you're capable of doing the transaction to understand what it is that you're doing, right? We transmitted that message. Remember what the notification was for. Remember that for fixed assets, we're only using one, basically to track the tasks we're doing, and also to track the notification and where it is at what stage, how important it is to update the equipment status all the way through, right? And remember all the way at the end to give it its final status. The system status updates automatically. And in this particular case, why we were creating a sales order, because this is a write-off with a disposal method, which is the same as the one we were doing yesterday, which was scrapping. So what is important, besides the fact that you can finish the exercise and complete it, is also knowing what you're doing at each step of the way. Okay, I have nothing else to add. I'm glad you were able to continue with the exercise. I think we clarified that small glitch issue that happens with the sales order. If there's anything else you would like to comment or add before we finalize the session, it's 4:03. Elena, I don't know if you want to add any last words or comments.
Sorry, Brian. Can you quickly recap the process of sale order? Because I heard you talking, but I was proceeding with the exercise. I didn't memorize what should I do or should I skip. Just quickly, because I'm actually at that stage.
Yes, Elena, you want to do that?
Sorry for that.
Yes.
No problem, Gianluca. Let's go over that specific step, which I think falls right around step between 11 and 12. It's at the moment where you have to pay attention.
The issue mainly is about the process, but it's about switching to the training environment while keeping the instructions as close as reality. So let me scroll down a little bit. It's what? Let me see. Update notification. Update equipment. No. One sec. It comes earlier.
Should be around page 17, 18.
I don't see them. Okay, one sec. Let me
Yeah,
see the Word
Elena,
document.
what Gianluca just said, actually, even when Luis posted the issue, he was mentioning the page and the step where it happened. Luis's issue, it says page 7, step 11.
Okay. So in page 7, Luis.
So there is I think it's the portion of one of the first issues that we encountered, right? The sales tab need to be filled correctly with the sales order number.
Okay. Yes, this is a note. We don't need to do it now. It's just a note because we are exploring the different tabs of the notification, and there is a tab that is called sale. But this part, like note for disposal by sale, since this is specifically for this sale example, and there is a tab, I wanted to mention, now that we went through all the tabs, what is the last tab about. But you don't need to do anything because at this stage you are creating a notification, so you don't even know if it's going to be approved and if the item is going to be sold. This is just for information purposes. So then the notification is approved, put in process, and then I want to move to page 7. Okay, here it says create sales order. At this stage, we are in disposal in process, so meaning that the write-off and the disposal the equipment has been updated accordingly, the status, and the disposal is in process. We have identified who is the buyer of the laptop, and we are going to create a sales order. In this stage is where we should create the sales order by clicking the sales order button in the system. And the notification will populate a sales order number. And here is where we will populate with the business partner of the customer and so on. However, this is not going to work in the training environment, but it's going to work when you go in UNAMID. So here I put a combination of comments. There is a note on the training environment, and let's see if it's clear enough. In the training environment, the sales order that you are about to create will be empty. It's a system. That's why if you continue, and here you will see that a sales order is created. And as Pietro was saying, yes, it's created, but it's empty. It's not pulling all the data from the material ID, etc. So if you click in the system, you create a sales order, but the sales order is empty. However, in production, in real life, the sales order will be duly populated with the material ID and other details. Now back to the exercise. In order to proceed with the exercise in the training environment, skip the step 4, this step, the clicking, and use the next chapter and use it in the next chapter. So you have to move to the create outbound delivery document. And in the next chapter, you need to use the sales order provided in the cover page. These are 5 and 6 is the steps that will happen in real life, but then I am including some notes for the training. So here again, note on the training environment, you will see the sales order provided in the cover page. If you wish to display the sales order, type this T code. So yes, you can click and create a sales order. It will return a number, but don't use the number. Anyways, the sales order is empty. What you need to do at this point in order to continue with the chapter of creating outbound delivery document is to extract the sales order from the cover page and continue. But in real life, you will create a sales order notification, and from the sales order in the notification, you generate outbound delivery. Gianluca? Or...
Okay. Thank you, Elena. Clear.
I know it's a little bit complicated.
It's fine. I think it's clear. Hopefully, Gianluca. Basically, the glitch occurs from step 11 to 12. So if you skip and jump to step 13, you should be able to process it perfect. All right. The main thing is that you will not get to the sales order from the notification by clicking on the sales order button. I also see Cristiana also adding another type of issue here with running VL060 for the outbound created, but she cannot see the last one. The last one that appears is April 28th. But if, not sure. I think, Luis, let me just mute you quickly. All right. So maybe, Elena, this has happened. For some reason, Cristiana, when she's running VL060, she cannot see her outbound number, but when she does run VA03, she can see it. Maybe it has something to do with the options that she's populating in the report, and that's why she cannot see it. Maybe it's because once it's generated, I think that step specifically is just to list the outbound delivery. So it must be something to do, Cristiana, with the options that you're selecting in the report before running the report. Maybe
so
the dates.
The dates.
Yeah.
But we can take it offline if you want, Cristiana. It seems as if you are filtering the report, and that's why you cannot see it.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And besides that, that's it. So basically, where you have to pay attention is steps 11, 12, 13, right? You can finish step 11, even though the instructions that are provided are the correct ones and the way you should proceed in production. For the training environment, there's a glitch. So remember that at the end of step 11, you'll just have to save what you've done, and you can jump to step 13 and use the sales order number that we provided in the cover page. Okay, because you will not open the sales order directly from the notification in the training environment. All right, thanks, Elena. And I don't think there's anything else. The chat is clear now. The last comment was Cristiana also, and it seems like it's okay here.
Anyways, if any comment or anything, even suggestion on something that is not clear in the text, just drop a line or we share your screen, or I think this is the closest we can get from the distance. So if you continue with the exercise and you have any comment, let me know, either in this chat or privately. I will be connected for a while still.
All right, thanks, Elena, and thanks everyone else. The survey was also sent for the afternoon. We hope you enjoy a weekend. It's we get an extra day this weekend, so relax, rest. So make sure you perform your exercises. Remember, you have some extra time for the assessment. It's not going to happen on Tuesday. You guys until May 11th, as I sent in the email. So you have plenty of time to practice. I think today's session was also good for you guys to go through the exercise during training time. But like Elena said, reach out to her for this exercise, particularly if you have any other issues, and we may share them later on Monday's session. Besides that, you already have the exercises. I can send an extra email later on with the recordings of the sessions and any updates that maybe Elena has made to the body of the exercise. If nothing else, thank you all and enjoy your weekend.